Outrange it.
Negate.
Something about linear.
Yeah, exactly. Negate it and punish her when she jumps in. The Zeri seems like a no-brainer. The one thing I think you might be a little bit worried about is that the pressure that Ashe has in lane can be tough to deal with. And if you lock in Jhin, that is kind of your main consideration, as that does mean that Hannah not going to be playing, I think, the pick that he has looked the best on.
And BNK DRX, they have Nidalee. And they didn't obey the equation. Let's dive under the rift for game 1.
Do it while you can. Eventually becomes a lot riskier to just jump in. We also see Yehu going for Scorch, going for Mana Flow Band, and obviously Ari just really looking to try and play as aggressive early on. As we all know, we will say this every single time.
Level 1.
The Alistar level, it's like the Tristana Alistar level 2 power spike. Remember that combo when that was a thing in bot lane?
Oh, I loved it, yeah.
Yeah, that was a
level 3, 2 points in rocket jump? Oh, yeah. Baby.
For the all-in.
Of course, his position now going to be well and truly known as well.
Fight, fight, fight!
Oh, who is going to be able to get the smite is the question, as Raptor is just walking on over, and we have a bit of biffo here towards the bottom side. Execute is being lit on fire. Teddy just turning and burning, looking for this one. The flash does come through, but Teddy, he's flashing over. He'll find the first blood, and Hannah cannot do anything about it. Completely forgotten about.
I frankly do not care who fights, but people were gonna fight, and it is, as you know, you might expect, Execute ends up going in first as Yehu.
Yeah, is that spear missing, but the charge is going to come on through there as the swipe comes down. Raptor was slowed for a long time, gets the pounce just in the nick of time, and makes it out with 100 health. A couple of flashes were invested for it, but Yehu is still dead. Feeling incredibly comfortable. Speaking of which, we've got Pleta with a grand entrance moving towards this bottom side. Henna taking the brunt of the damage. As now Raptor, what happened? There are so many bad guys here, and he is just going to get turned into mincemeat. That's going to be Sponge locking down the kill onto his opposite number, and they will be able to transfer that into the remaining grub as well. Man, I really do want some, I want to know the preamble up to that one.
Okay, I got an inkling. The one thing I feel confident on is the fact that you probably put KT smack dab in the middle.
Oh, I learned from my mistakes.
A valuable lesson on probability. So you can still win a lot of Drake fights just by hitting a spear or two on the backline. And we'll have to see if BNK can play around that, because Raptor right now is trying, but him alone is not enough, and this team needs to sync up if they want to contest this, and right now it doesn't looking like it's that likely.
Yeah, he wants to be able to get over it. The curtains have been called, as Pleta taking a fair bit of damage. Spear will connect, but the Drake will be secured here by Sponge. DRX just going to get themselves out of there. Oh, another nice spear under Pleta.
So that fur jump, that's how I imagine that.
Man, he does a lot of flips in that jump. That's very, very cool.
Well, not on this character, you know, Wei's rather stationary.
Yeah, that's true. They need to sort of swap positions, right? If he was playing Tristana.
Oh.
I mean, Rocket Jump is actually, yeah, you know? Like
it is. You're Goomba stomping on.
Exactly. We got a bit of a team fight coming up, so let's focus on that a little bit as the teleport does come on through. There's a flash head buff hold to come down as well, but it is an absolute mess inside that pit, and it's clear that comes out on top. Closer is out of there, keeps himself alive. They lock down this last grub as the curtains are being called, but unfortunately they're not going to find their markers. Frog does manage to soak a bit of it. Execute will be turned into a stake though, and that is in the end a 1-for-1, I believe. But Grub advantage, never mind, Grub advantage goes to DRX, so it's just relatively even slightly DRX favored in the end. So not going to be building too much armor. DRX have a good spread of damage, so clear having this Thornmail is not going to be end of the world, much like it was for, say, KT in our last series, for example. This is going to be much more about, like you say, Yehu being able to land this damage, get things done. But I think this fight coming up is going to be absolutely huge. Clear?
And I think DRX want to try and create chaos. BNK look for that classic front to back.
So far it's a lot of spears missing, but a fair bit of Yehu's abilities actually connecting. Most of them onto Clear, so he is able to tank a bit of it, but Execute going down to about 3/4. Henna getting sniped as well. And the more they do this, the more they just traipse around the jungle, the more of these abilities are just gonna land. And they get some control, and it looks like it's going to be 2 Drakes to nothing in favor of DRX. And if this is what the setup and execution's going to look like in this game, then BNK is going to need to find something better, as Yeah, double TP and
It's Tristana.
it's Tristana, and they were never, like, I think that was sort of like a race to see who gets the minions. Cinder's going to be picked up by everyone as we do have an Infernal Soul. Back-to-back Chemtex into Infernal. It's like least fun into most fun. As Clear going to have that one dodged. Arrow going to connect onto the Cassante as he was queuing there as well. And Teddy gonna lock up the kill. Wow, they CC'd Cassante? That was very, very cool. Okay, Closer looking for an opportunity here, but it's gonna be Pleta finding the grand entrance. And Yahoo just says no.
Really seeing that fire here. And if you just sit and poke, like obviously Nidalee could, and there we go!
Okay, there is the execute that we know and love. Is alright, Yahoo gonna try and get him out of here, but he's already lit on fire. The arrow sails by, looks fantastic. Yahoo just controlling the battlefield though, as Sponge is protecting him so beautifully. And they tried to do it 3 versus 1, but he stays alive, he gets out, and even Pleta's going to survive here as the explosive charge. It isn't quite enough. And B&K, yes, they managed to take down the turret, but they're once again getting corralled. I think they know that this is a bad news story.
Oh, look at Frog!
Yeah.
It's the deep flank!
That's a very deep flank, and you can see this Sponge just keeping them interested. Teddy, he does have the barrier available. Frog isn't quite here yet either, is now Clear, dashes in, gets the all out, and wins the 1v1 at the end. Yeah, who's going to be able to find that one though, and now Frog with the Dominus setup. It is so messy, but I think DRX is going to be able to clean it up here. They had to sacrifice Teddy for it, but they will not leave anyone standing on the side of B&K.
A whole lot better.
Woo! How'd you go? There he is. And he's the only one that died in the fight as well.
Look at him go!
He's like kills them all and then he just dances about. Oh man, and then gets punished immediately. All right, well, that was sobering, wasn't it? As we come back to live, Teddy having a little dance and then straight back to a gray screen.
Having the IE and using his ult as I imagine Execute died.
Yeah.
Because we did see
Jonas Strong had the little pan over.
Oh, Teddy. Oh, Teddy.
That is beautiful. And
Because
look at the
that,
ultimate cooldown.
Yeah.
It just came back up.
Yeah. So is it really just...
I
Closer's
Closer
really
just,
trying, man.
Yeah, he just stacks it up and then he does. For B&K to deal with.
This is a must-win for B&K, Atlas. You can't give over Infernal.
Infernal Soul just massive. That's the snare though, and look at that, the kitchen sink just rains down from upstairs. The spiraling despair is named so perfectly here. And that's the jungler down. Clear now having to go in because they can't let this go through. But look at it. It's Teddy free firing the entire time. Closer tries to get it done, but the knock-up is kind of beautiful here from Sponge. And Teddy A goes down to 100 health, but he gets the work done that he needs to. And now Henna, no frontline left standing. In fact, no one else on his team. And Yahoo is just chasing him down. He's going to miss that Q, though. B&K cannot really deal with at this point in time. It's just feeling like too many fights that they've managed to win, as in goes Sponge once again. Raptor's going to have to flash. The arrow was sailing through as well. Pleta finds the knock-up, but maybe they've overstepped as Battle Dance gets Pleta out of there, but Sponge may not be as lucky. Does have the Crescent Guard available, though, as he dives on top of Closer. Dangerous here, but they do manage to trade it back in the end. Top laner for jungle. Baron on the map, though. Certain possibility.
Bruiser / off-tank built with that random. Frog, by the way, I know you already highlighted it, but
yeah.
Frog on Renekton is built different. Frog in general, jury's still out.
Yeah.
Frog on Renekton, though.
I think he hasn't died yet on Renekton in the LCK.
Makes sense.
Which is pretty impressive. His Execute just gets them into the pit together, and they take the Baron.
The one thing that I want to avoid...
It took a bit of thinking.
It really did, because I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this, because this game realistically should be over. There is Infernal. The reason why I'm scared is because of moments like this.
Yep, there's the ulti as Pleta. Oh, Buster Shot, perfect timing as he stands in front of Sponge, doing his job beautifully. No curtain's going to be called over this Xin Zhao. And this is the problem.
That's what I was...
You think you catch Xin, and you've never caught Xin. Execute on a decent flank angle. Pleta trying to get him out of there, though, so does at least spot out exactly where this cow is. Elder being tanked here by B&K. Is the arrow going to connect onto the Cassante? They just pile in on top as Execute. He's just not there in time. time! And Clear, unfortunately, is just wiped from the Rift. The flash forward from Frog. Frog keeps that KDA alive, my friend, and he absolutely will! DRX just roll over the team fight. They can get themselves an Elder if they want to, or they can just take a Nexus. It is entirely up to them.
And DRX take a commanding win here in the first game between these two. BNK just doesn't look at any point like they were able to play their game, execute, having a really rough one. Clear as well. That front line not feeling too tanky, but I gotta credit where credit is due. DRX, they look like a well-oiled machine here in game number 1.
Yeah, that's a pretty good performance coming out from DRX.